This short summary is going to be going over the very rare occasion of the October 2010 Arizona tornado outbreak and occurring hailstorm. Rare for it being in Arizona, not for it being in October 2010. As always, starting with our event overview. This event was spawned because a cold core low remained nearly stationary for a few days actually. This is because of a structure known as an omega structure. This looks something similar to this setup here at the bottom right, where we have a high pressure not far into Canada, but let's say around the quadruple point of the Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana border, so the Arklatex region. We have the dip in the jet stream obviously begin off into the Pacific. It starts to rise just around Las Vegas, dips back down just around Michigan, Pennsylvania, and then lifts back up again in the Atlantic. So the low pressure, of course, both lows and highs influence the jet stream, but high pressures tend to be stronger and definitely want to stay still. They are lazy assholes and don't want to move. All right. So what happens is that a low is trying to, go in and out of the U.S. West to East Coast, bam, done. But this high pressure is getting in the way. And if it's slamming right into this ridge, it can take a few days for the jet stream to finally pick up this low pressure, either moving it north or the high pressure moving a little bit further south. Either way, things eventually tend to get resolved. And thankfully, to this day, there is not still that same low pressure sitting out near Arizona. In any case, this low pressure remaining stationary caused some southwest winds to develop, and dews were around 60 degrees Fahrenheit, a little high for the area. This is the American Southwest, the desert. These, as well as other dynamics, were forecasted for things to actually shift away from storm development, let alone tornado genesis. However, obviously, talking about a tornado outbreak, this did not happen. In fact, we had 12 tornadoes in 11 hours. Half of these would be EF2 or greater. A total of $4.9 billion in damage would happen. Thankfully, there were no deaths, but 11 people were injured. We do only have 3 notables here, and this first one is the Kachina Village to Fort Valley, Arizona EF2. With a pretty impressive, although definitely not the longest I've seen, kilometer track of 42 kilometers, this tornado was 460 meters wide at its widest. This tornado affected 121 structures in some way, shape, or form, whether that be minor damage to completely destroyed. On top of this, this tornado also demolished 30 RVs, as it did encounter an RV dealership. This tornado passed only 1,100 meters east of NWS Flagstaff, or FGZ. Not too far away. Another factoid is that an anemometer belonging to Northern Arizona University recorded sustained winds of 115 miles per hour. That is Category 3 strength winds on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale. Also of note, on top of this, it recorded peak instantaneous winds of 185 miles per hour. That, for the record, is high-end EF4. However, those were not truly sustained. We move on to our next notable, which it's not a typo. This tornado also occurred from Kachina Village to Fort Valley, Arizona. This, however, was an EF3. With a slightly less impressive track of 48.4 kilometers, this tornado was almost 2 times as wide at 730 meters wide. This tornado, given the same town names, did indeed parallel the previous tornado. However, this tornado only passed within around 540 meters west of NWS Flagstaff. NWS Flagstaff had a busy day, and with both of these tornadoes passing NWS Flagstaff, I have found Zero pictures of these tornadoes. We at least also know that there were thousands of trees downed from this tornado. Our last notable happened southeast of Tuba City, Arizona, as an EF3. This tornado had a track of 6.4 kilometers. However, don't be too sure about that, and I'll get to that in just a second. This tornado was the widest of all of our three notables at 1,000 meters wide at its widest. This tornado tracked across unpopulated regions for nearly its entire life. This makes it pretty hard to judge the true path length, as dust is not exactly known for leaving crop circles like grass does. Little known fact. What you at least do know is that three metal truss transmission towers, the big boy transmission towers, were destroyed, with one being completely flattened. And just a tornado outbreak happening in Arizona doesn't happen. I've, up to this point, had yet to talk about a tornado outbreak happening in the Southwest. I've talked about one in the Pacific Northwest with the Vancouver, or the Washington and Oregon tornadoes. However, that was not really an outbreak, but you still get my point. I've now, I think, covered all regions of the United States. Specifically, this outbreak is Arizona's most intense tornado outbreak. This is Arizona's costliest weather event as well, with $2.7 billion in damage from hail alone. That is over half of the 4.9 was it? This outbreak also holds the record for the highest number of tornadoes west of the Continental Divide. Continental Divide in this case being the Rocky Mountains. Also notable is that a geographical feature was impacting storm development. Gasp! That doesn't happen, except it does. This feature was the Mogollon Rim. Every supercell started rotating south of the Mogollon Rim. The Mogollon Rim is a very vast expanse of mountainous elevated region. This will, unlike a singular hill or a valley, Waco, will not, those will not impact storm development. A large expanse of mountainous elevated region, however, definitely will. Aside from that, this event would, or this low pressure, would cause up to 8 inches of snow in the South Sierra Nevada mountains. If your screen just went blank for you, I'm sorry, because that just happened to me, and I do not know why. In any case, that is all that I have for this short summary. I hope to see you all in the next one. Have a good rest of your day, evening, or morning.